All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are breaking down a massive shift in the world of content creation. We're talking about using AI to figure out in real time what's blowing up online, especially on a platform that moves as fast as TikTok. And to really get why this is such a game changer, you first have to grasp the sheer scale of the world creators are living in right now.
And the stakes? Well, they've never been higher. That number you're looking at, $400 billion, that's how big the creator economy is projected to be by 2027. That is huge. And in an industry growing that fast, staying relevant isn't just a nice to have, it's the entire game.
So, to understand why AI is becoming so absolutely essential, you have to appreciate the environment we're all swimming in. This isn't some calm, predictable landscape, it's what you could call a content storm. We're talking about a massive, chaotic, but incredibly valuable whirlwind of videos, trends, and ideas happening all at once.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Millions upon millions of videos are uploaded every single day. A new trend can literally explode and reach a global audience in just a few hours. And then, poof, it's gone by tomorrow. The speed and the sheer volume are just unlike anything we have ever seen before.
And this nonstop storm leads us to a massive problem for anyone trying to make stuff that actually connects with people. It's the modern creator's dilemma. This nagging feeling that looking back at what worked last month or even last week is completely useless for figuring out what to do next.
Yeah, the old way of doing things just doesn't cut it anymore. Relying on last week's analytics to plan this week's content, that's like trying to drive a race car by only looking in the rearview mirror. It's just not going to work. The new necessity, the only way to compete is having real-time insight, knowing what's capturing people's attention this very second. Which, of course, brings us to the big question, right? In this crazy, high-speed world, how can any person or any team possibly keep up? How do you tell the difference between a real trend and just a flash in the pan? And most importantly, how do you create something that genuinely resonates?
And the answer, more and more, is artificial intelligence. The best way to think about it is like a new co-pilot for your creative journey. It's a tool specifically designed to take all of that digital noise, all that chaos, and turn it into clear, actionable intelligence that can actually guide you through the storm.
So, how does this co-pilot actually work? Well, first up is its ability to decode viral trends. The AI can sift through millions of videos, sounds, comments, and hashtags to spot these tiny emerging patterns that a human could never see. So it doesn't just tell you what's popular now, it helps predict what's going to be popular next.
Next, you've got sentiment analysis. And this is where things get really fascinating. The AI can essentially read the room, the digital room that is. It analyzes the emotional tone of comments and reactions in real time, giving you an instant vibe check on how your audience is feeling about your content. It's like having a focus group of millions, 24/7. And when you put all that data together, it leads to this incredible shift. You can finally move from being reactive to being proactive. By looking at all the historical data, the AI can start to forecast how certain groups of people will likely react to future content. This lets you build a strategy that's almost predisposed to succeed.
And look, this isn't just some cool theory. The results are real and they're tangible. This chart here shows that companies using AI for this kind of analysis are seeing on average a 15 to 20% bump in their return on investment. The bottom line? This stuff really works.
Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's get into the how with a real-world example. We're going to take a peek inside a platform called realmind.ai to see how they're actually putting all these powerful AI concepts into practice for creators.
So at its core, a platform like this is really about a few key things. It's giving creators access to a whole suite of powerful AI video models, offering up an AI director to help guide the process, and then tying it all together with tools that help you actually make a living from your work.
And what's so cool about this is the sheer level of firepower that's being put into the hands of individual creators. We're talking top-tier models like OpenAI's Sora, which is known for making video that looks unbelievably real, and others like Runway's Gen 4, which makes sure your characters look the same from shot to shot. This is basically Hollywood-level tech for everyone. And then there's this thing called Nolan. Now this is a total game changer. It's basically an AI director that acts as your intelligent assistant. Remember that content storm we talked about? Well, an AI director like this is your guide. It helps you make creative choices based on what's actually resonating right now, which makes getting professional results so much more achievable. So how can you actually start using this stuff in your own work? Well, it really boils down to a pretty straightforward 4-step process. First, you've got to assess what you need and plan out your goals. Then, you select the right tools for that specific job. Third, you bring that AI into your workflow and just start testing it out. And finally, you analyze what happens, you optimize, and you scale up what's working.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the really big picture. This whole technological shift has massive implications for, well, the entire creative industry. So, where do we go from here?
What we're really seeing is this powerful convergence. You've got the AI market, which is projected to hit a staggering $1.8 trillion by 2030, smashing right into the creator economy. And when two forces that massive collide, the potential for innovation is just explosive.
And this timeline gives you a little peek into what that future might look like. Like right now, real-time insights are becoming the standard. Pretty soon, we're going to see AI driving hyper-personalized content for every single user. And by the end of the decade, we could be looking at content that literally changes and adapts itself based on live audience feedback. Wild stuff.
But, this kind of power doesn't come without some really important questions we have to ask. We have to navigate these critical issues around data privacy, potential bias in the algorithms, and of course, preventing misuse. These aren't just abstract ideas. They directly impact the relationship between creators and their audiences. Building trust in this new world is absolutely everything.
And that leaves us with this final big question to chew on. As AI gets better and better at spotting trends, maybe even predicting a viral hit before it happens, what does that mean for us, for human creativity? How does our own ingenuity evolve and adapt? That's the conversation we're all going to be a part of. It's a question worth thinking about. Thanks for tuning in.